Hey there, thanks for being here. You know, it seems like we've experienced our fair share of online negativity here in the city of Cape Coral in the last few weeks, and so I really wanted to do a positive news video. And so this week's video, I'm going to share with you 3 really super positive things that have happened here in the city of Cape Coral just in the last few weeks. Things that have opened up, things that are new to the city that may have flown under your radar, or maybe you saw it on the news or something, but I think these are 3 of the most exciting things to happen here in the city of Cape Coral, and I think they have broader ramifications for the future of this entire area, especially the 3rd thing that I'm going to share with you, because that has broader positive ramifications for this entire Southwest Florida area. So make sure you stick around so you can see that one. But if you're not familiar with this channel, my name is Dustin Guthrie. I'm a longtime resident of Cape Coral in Southwest Florida. I've been a full-time real estate broker here in this area for almost 20 years now. And I do a video like this every single week on this channel where just give you some really good, useful information as it pertains to Southwest Florida and really specifically Cape Coral. So if you are interested in Cape Coral, even if you live here now, or maybe you're thinking of moving to Cape Coral, or even if you're thinking of moving to Fort Myers or moving to Punta Gorda or something like that, I want to invite you to reach up and hit the subscribe button so you can be around for these videos every single week. I think you'll get a lot out of them. Try to give you a lot of really great information, just because I know if I can give you some good information, maybe create some value for you, that you will remember me when the time does come and you do need a realtor. I would love to be your realtor if you're buying or selling any kind of property here in anywhere in Southwest Florida. And so with that spiel out of the way, let's get to these positive new developments here in the city of Cape Coral, Florida. I can't wait to share these with you. So maybe you've seen this and maybe you haven't, but in the Northwest Cape, if you've actually followed this channel for a while, I've covered this this park that was coming in the northwest section of Cape Coral, and I think I did a video maybe a year ago when they broke ground on this park. But this was a really exciting development for the northwest section of Cape Coral, and I think it's the first tangible example of some of these newer, really exciting developments that are coming into this area of the Northwest Cape. And this park is the first to be completed, but nevertheless, they just broke ground, well, they broke ground last year, but they just opened this park. They had the ribbon cutting this past Friday, and I know my family and I have already been there twice just in the last few days. It's an incredible brand new park. It's really unique. It's centered around this huge, gigantic lake, and actually that lake used to be an old fill dirt pit. That was where they were taking all of the fill dirt out when they were developing a lot of the homes here in Cape Coral, and it's been sitting there just filled with water as a lake for some time, and they turned it into this beautiful park. It's got a brand new beach on the outside. My kids absolutely loved it. Spent hours there the other day at this beach and just hanging out and having fun. And it also has a big walking path around the outside with exercise equipment. There's even like an obstacle course there, and it also, where they brought out some of that fill dirt and piled it up on one side of the lake, it actually makes for a really neat hill. And you know, if you're familiar with Cape Coral at all, we're not known for our elevation whatsoever. We're basically as flat land as you can possibly imagine, but this is a really neat place where you can kind of get up elevated and get some really great views of not only the lake, but also on the west side you can see some beautiful views of the Gulf and of Pine Island Sound out there. So if you've never been over to Crystal Lake Park, I really would encourage you to go check it out, because it's a really neat place. And I know my family and I will be spending quite a lot of time there. But that's, like I said, just opened this past Friday, and maybe it flew under your radar, but I think it's a really positive thing, not only for the entire city of Cape Coral, but also for the Northwest, really specifically for the Northwest section of Cape Coral. This was a $10+ million GO bond park that they'd put in amongst several others that are going in right now, and we were really excited for that one. And I'm also excited for Tropicana Park, which is being constructed right now, and so that one will hopefully be done maybe within 6 months or so. So we're excited for all of those developments to come out of the ground here in the northwest section of Cape Coral. As if you're familiar with the channel, you know I've been talking about the northwest section of Cape Coral for a long time. I really think it's the most exciting of the 4 quadrants right now, just because there's a lot of projects going on up there, and I know that we are looking forward to a lot of them opening up here in the near future. But Crystal Lake Park, it's a great start. I encourage you to go out there if you've never seen it. All right, so the second thing I wanted to talk about in terms of positivity for the city of Cape Coral, Florida, was the removal of the Chiquita Lock. If you're not familiar with where that is, it's over right next to Cape Harbor. It's in the Southwest Cape, and basically any Gulf access home, any home that's on a saltwater canal that's west of Chiquita Boulevard, it's all one canal system, and then there's only one entrance and exit point to that canal system, and it's right there next to Cape Harbor. And there was always, since those canals were dug, a lock system there. So it could maybe let 1 or 2 boats through at a time, and that's a pretty big canal system. And really, especially in the last 15 or 20 years, that area has really been built up. So there was a lot of boat traffic going right through that choke point. And if you've ever been down there on a boat trying to get out of that lock, especially on busy days like July 4th or something like that, you could see those boats backed up for a really long distance, and it made for a really long wait time to get through there. And I know the city's been fighting to get that lock removed for, gosh, decades. I think over 20 years they've been embroiled in lawsuits over it. There were some environmental groups that thought that the removal of the lock would do ecological damage to the area. I think that's been proven at this point that was not going to be the case. I know there were several other locks in different areas of Cape Coral that had been removed years and years ago. But I think this is a really positive development for that area, especially if you're a Gulf access homeowner on that canal system. Your wait time to get out to that open water just was reduced fairly significantly in just a matter of a few weeks here at the start of this summer. So I think the removal of the Chiquita Lock is an important development, especially for the southwest section of Cape Coral. And I think it may have flew under a lot of people's radar, but if you go over there now, it's all been ripped out. It was not functioning, as I recall, it wasn't functioning. It was damaged in Hurricane Ian, so it's been open since then. But now they've taken all that concrete and all that mechanical equipment out of there, and it's really wide open, and that water is rushing through there during the highs and lows, or when the tide is coming in and out. So the removal of Chiquita Lock is really important for that area of southwest Cape Coral and really Cape Coral as a whole, and I think it's a pretty exciting development that's happened here in recent weeks. All right, so the final thing I want to talk about today is probably the most important thing among the 3 things that we're talking about, and not just for the city of Cape Coral. It's certainly great for us, but also just for the broader Southwest Florida area in general. If you're not familiar, we've had our fair share of water quality problems here in Southwest Florida. There's a lot of storm runoff water that contains a lot of nitrogen and agricultural byproducts. It gets into our Caloosahatchee River, which is also the intercoastal waterway. It's connected up to Okeechobee and actually runs all the way out to the other side of the state over in Stewart. But nevertheless, that water runoff kind of coming down the Caloosahatchee, it causes algae blooms. We've had some green algae problems here in the canals and things like that in the city of Cape Coral. But there's also, red tide, which is a form of red algae that usually accumulates a little bit offshore, and it causes respiratory problems and things like that. It kills fish, takes the oxygen out of the water. So it's been a big problem for this area. And if you're a sports fisherman or something like that, you've probably noticed in certain seasons they've closed down certain species just to try to get that fish population back up from situations we've had with things like the red tide, where they've killed a tremendous amount of fish. So water quality has been a big problem, and as part of the larger, broader effort to restore the Florida Everglades and the natural water flow that kind of comes from Okeechobee and goes down south versus going down the Caloosahatchee River, they've just opened up this last week something called the C43 Reservoir in Hendry County out east. And what that's going to do is that's going to store about 170,000 acre feet of water, a tremendous amount of specifically storm runoff water. So they're going to have all of that contaminated water kind of be consolidated over there, and I think that's part of a broader plan to add several different things like that are going to not only keep that water from rushing down the Caloosahatchee while it has all those contaminants in it, but also to try to just restore that water flow to where it needs to be. But the C43 Reservoir just opened. The governor was out there this past week, and I think it's a hugely important thing. I don't think it's a fix-all for everything, but it's certainly a great first step and those pumps are pumping all of that stormwater runoff into that big reservoir. They can hold it there and maybe treat it a little bit, get some of that fertilizer material out of there before they kind of release it and let it go back down the river. So I think it's a tremendously important part of not only our ecosystem here, which is crucial, but also like our tourism and everything like that. When we have these red tide algae blooms here in Southwest Florida, a lot of times, especially during the winter, folks will adjust their vacation plans and maybe not come to a place like Fort Myers Beach or a vacation rental in Cape Coral, and maybe they go to another area of Florida instead. So those tourist dollars that come in every year are affected by our water quality down here, and I think it's a really, really important thing that we get a handle on that and start to restore a little bit more balance here in terms of our waterfront. Our waterfront is clearly the most important asset that we have here in Southwest Florida, and we need to make sure we're taking care of it. So I was very excited to see the C43 reservoir open up. I think we got some other things we need to do there, but it's a great first start, and that's a very, very exciting thing that just happened this past week here in Southwest Florida. So there you go. I think those are three really super positive things that have happened just in the last few weeks here in Southwest Florida and Cape Coral, and maybe you knew about those, maybe you didn't, but hopefully you learned something new today on this video. And I think these positive things, they don't sell as well as the negativity, so you don't see them as often online or on videos or even newscasts and things like that. But hopefully you got something out of this video. If you did, do me a favor, hit the like button for me, because that just helps me out and helps the channel out. And of course, if you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can be around for these videos every week. Sometimes we're talking about real estate, sometimes we're doing videos like today where we're just giving you some really, really good, useful news and information and things like that. So I think if you're subscribed, if you are interested in anywhere in Southwest Florida, I think if you're subscribed, you'll get a lot out of these videos every single week. But thank you so much for being here. If I can do anything for you, if you are considering a move to Southwest Florida, or even if you live here now and you're looking at selling a place, make sure you reach out to me. I'd love to be your realtor. Love to help you out with whatever needs that you have here in Southwest Florida. But beyond that, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you in the next video here in just a few days.
Like and subscribe. Just kidding.